Tony and I have known each other for a very long time, actually, and say for the umpteen years, we'd had no contact. We're not going into ages again, not all that stuff. For a long, long time, we hadn't seen each other. I knew about the fact that he'd been burned. I didn't know how badly. The last time we saw each other, we were both rather haughty with each other. And on several occasions, I was attempted to go and see him, but something cropped up and I didn't. And then he rang me one day at Granada. And I said, how are you? And he said, fine, I'd like to see you. I said, sure, why don't you come over for lunch? And I had no idea just how badly he'd been burnt, or where, for that matter. And so I don't know how he did it now, but he came from Liverpool and he had no money at all. And he managed to make it very well-dressed he looked, and very cool. And we talked, and he said he wanted somewhere to write, and it was terribly difficult back home. And I have a large cottage, and I said, there's a top floor, but no bloody hanky-panky. And you can work up there, you see. And he took this up, and it was not until I saw him walk down our very rough little country lane that I realised what hell it must have been for him, because he couldn't even get shoes on his feet properly. They had to be slipper-type shoes. And we had several incidents, which we'll probably tell you about later. But that's how...
How would you describe the relationship between you now, if you put this embargo on hanky-panky in the early days?
Oh, very much so. I think we'd both had enough, and we both felt that...
What, hanky or panky?
Oh, both, and all the other besides. I mean, I was divorced and widowed, and I think, and being Elsie, I'd had 22 boyfriends, so they tell me. And I thought I'd been through the mill enough, and I didn't want any more relationships. And I think he felt the same.
And how would you describe your relationship now?
Well, you know, it's always a temptation. You get people writing in newspapers, and you come, oh, we're so happy, and this is it. And 6 months later, they're smashed all over the place. But I would say that we had to wait a long time for each other. We had to go through a lot of experiences to find each other again. We both had to grow up a little, if that's possible. And if you ever found a soulmate, I think I've found mine.
That's smashing. That's really smashing. And you're good. You're each other's best friends, presumably.
Oh, we kill each other from time to time.
Are you rowdy? Do you rowdy?
No, it's beautiful, but it's a strange thing. In all the other rows I've had in my life, you felt it was horrid and terminal. Yeah. When we have rows, I think we're both sniggering a bit, because we're sort of like playing the third act. Right. And we're saying it because, well, we ought to say it.
Is anybody watching?
And we know in 5 minutes' time we're going to be laughing again, you see, at each other and ourselves.
And that's a great restorative and corrective.
Yes.
For the moment, both of you, thank you very much indeed.
Yes.